What's up, guys, and welcome to the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Welcome back. So, as I mentioned last time, after putting in the time the second time, there was basically this, couple text boxes that said, hey, thanks for, actually putting in the time twice. Of course, I have no idea whether you put in the right time, but most people just set it to 12 a.m. And it said, put in your favorite time. So, since I really like the number 3, we're going to do 3:33 p.m. If I could find the up button, because I cannot see my mouse on screen right now. There we go. "3:33 p.m., your favorite time of day." Or could you simply not resist giving me the correct time again? After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. Okay, now I'm curious how accurate 3:33 p.m. is. Let's use another slider to find out. How accurate is 3:33 p.m.? I mean, it's about 3.5 hours after that right here, so if I could grab the slider, say it's slightly... I mean, this would be 3:30, this would be 3:33 a.m. So I'd say it's here. Can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me just whip a couple new ones up. Should be ready by the time next time you boot up the game. I also have the volume a bit more down on these people. Is there any way I can turn this up? No. Okay. Yeah, so I just want to make sure, because I noticed in the last video the wasn't exactly being the greatest audio quality. It was you could barely hear me, so I turned down the volume a little bit. Hopefully that fixes it. Alright. Actually, hold on. There we go.
This is the story of...
Yeah, I can skip it. Here, I'm gonna check something real quick. If I can go to settings. I'm going to swap my controls around a bit, because if you saw my most recent stream, my arm's in a cast, so I can't really do this. So we're going to turn on simplified controls. Oh, you can't do left click for crouch? That's dumb. Alright, arrows. So we're going to be playing with arrows. For interact action, we're going to go right shift. And for crouch, we're going to go right enter. Actually, we're going to swap those around. Oh, no, it won't. Okay, it doesn't matter. But yes, that should work. Sorry about that. Alright, let's get into it. So if I press enter, yep, I crouch.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a
So
memo.
I'm not going to actually be able to turn while walking. Actually, hold on, let me try something. Yeah, it's not very good, but I'll have to do. Ooh, new content.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Actually, hold on. Yeah. Real quick, I'm actually just gonna switch the controls back around to Okay, let's see what new content is. Let's see here. Okay. We have another elevator.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh, wow.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
What does this say? Testing 2 printers at the same time.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Based. Yeah, this is all Windows. I wonder if it changes depending on, like, what software you use. Like, if you have Apple OS, it does Apple stuff. I doubt it's that deep, but they're back. 2 doors. Boring sections and cool red section of the chart. Alright. More Stanley Parable and better Stanley Parable. Definitely. Synergy, paradigms, client-centric marketing, the color red, leverage. Have here a Google Slides thing. Can we actually see Google? Oh no, it's just a bunch of Stanley Parable 2 logos with "Thanks for attending my meeting" at the bottom.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Show floor. New features. New content. Wait, do we actually go on the bus, or? No. Okay. Go through a very long line here.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
The button that says the name of the player that's playing this game.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful? Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim. Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first.
Absolutely not.
Now, allow yourself to become Jim. All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on? See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says, but no. Instead, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away.
Wait, no, don't take the Jim. Sad. Fine. I feel like they could have added an ending there, but oh well. Alright, let's try out some of the other quote-unquote features.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable 2. They would appreciate what I've created here.
Please no screenshots. Red is the new. Isn't it? Hold on, real quick. Right on my, I'm gonna look up on Google real quick how to screenshot and see if it says anything if you do. 2. Screenshot on Windows. Control print screen. And it doesn't work, okay. The new updated ray traced, more of the same but in a good way sequel. Ooh, the reassurance bucket. New and easy achievement. I'm gonna check what's over here. There's a door open here.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Infinite hole. Free achievement, Settings World Champion. Oh, maybe if you do that achievement, you'll be able to. Alright, let's go to the free achievement. Pull the lever, receive your new achievement.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Does he say anything if I keep clicking it? No? Okay. So I wonder if there is actually a way to achieve that achievement.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Jump circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
I wonder what happens if you, So I'm assuming if you don't use all your jumps, you can, just not... You can still use some of your jumps. Collectible.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Oh, that's, gruesome. 1 of 6. Cool. Yeah, I'm not going back in there.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
So he's taking the, He's taking the, Breath of the Wild approach with this, because there's like a bunch of stuff, like 100%ing stuff that you can do, and then you do get a reward, but it's completely useless. And what's in here?
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Oh. I'll probably get well someday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Cool. Merch.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Yeah, this is either going to be a Rickroll or actual merch. No, it is a legitimate... Nope, that is a legitimate, QR code that leads you to a website called thestanleyparable2.com. Alright, let's go to the reassurance bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem of the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket.
Ooh.
You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution.
I like how this entire line of
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they?
They do, in fact, yes.
All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
I'm keeping the bucket.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Yeah, there was that, I think the last thing here is the infinite hole. Wait, can I throw the bucket into the infinite hole? Let's see here. Yeah, that's kind of funny, because that's like an actual diagram of how black holes work. It's very weird. Surrounding it is, in fact. It just keeps going. Indeed it does. Infinite hole chart, depth, space, more hole, infinity, falling, more, hole, science, question mark, question mark, question mark, hole, entrance. So it's just a wormhole.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
I am now sequentially pressing every button on the
Great.
keyboard.
Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
No.
Okay, and I guess we're back in the hole now. Did you really need to see it again? I don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an infinite hole. It's exactly what you're doing right now, but forever. There really are so many other fascinating exhibits that I prepared for you. I really spent quite a lot of time on all this, and I would very much like to show you some more of them. How about we go ahead and press that teleport button again so we can get back to what's really important about... Oh, goodness. Well, this is rather embarrassing, Stanley. I'll be honest with you. I truly did not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long enough to hit the bottom.
At 2 p.m.
Yes, I know. I told you the hole was infinite, but come on. Who actually wants to fall forever? The hole was plenty deep. It was more than deep enough, in my opinion. Maybe it's you who likes falling too much. Maybe you're the problem.
Two of us.
Look, things got a little heated there.
Okay.
I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we
And that
just
is
put
a
all this
lot of
behind us
cigarettes.
and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can
G.
move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
No, I'm falling back down again.
Oh, for heaven... You see? I was right.
Nice.
The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole. I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled.
Indeed I have.
I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime.
Cool, don't care.
Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow, okay, yeah. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
Yes. So apparently that's...
Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot.
Interesting.
How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity.
All right, bye. We're still going down. Change your perception. That's a G. Ooh. Scared. Change your reality. That's age. Ooh, I like the purple. Ooh. Change yourself? It's legit. I am now upside down. Also, the button's still there. I am now E. I am now death. I am now from the game Don't Start. I am now an error sign. I am now paper. I am now slightly more normal paper. I am now me again. Ooh, that looks cool.
Stanley? Stanley! Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Oh. That did something. Oh, we're back.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Wait, is there going to be a second reassurance bucket? No, there isn't. Alright, never mind. I thought maybe because it kind of like reset, there might be more stuff. I think that's everything, so I'm going to head to the exit. This is quicker. Let's head out to the exit. I wonder if there are actually collectibles now. Oh, you have to hit that. Okay. Now you go through the line. Not sure why this is here, but it is. Those look pretty cool posters.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Briefcase. That's pretty cool. I'm liking these posters. New bug.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go.
All right,
Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. with respect, with care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could, but it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
All right, let's see what you got this time. Ooh. Like the music settings are the same, except it's all red. So is that literally it? It just spawns me back in.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's
I'm sure this is basically the same.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Birthday.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. It's the bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Okay.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
The bucket told me to do that.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was.
Also,
How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
I see a little bit more red, but yeah, I'll go.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
So what if we do the this ending with the bucket? Because the entire point is you're like getting so like worked up.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Oh, so there's no longer.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley.
Line.
We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Well, it turns out to be a right thing, that there would be something different here, but no. I'm gonna just hide in the broom closet. Okay, there's nothing there.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Is it going to be Bucket?
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
No.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
But you can't press the red button. Oh, that's not a button.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
No, I think I'm dead. Does that mean I'm not coming on then?
The Bucket Destroyer. My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend.
I like the
For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
So is that assuming that's it then? Oh, no, it's still the sequel.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Also, I know I've probably said this in the previous episodes, but this is literally the greatest.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
This guy and the guy, that does like the not the Animal Planet stuff, like the Nat Geo stuff. That guy, forget his name, but
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
All right, let's go to.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Also, why is it Australian?
Good,
said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Wait, you're allowed to go back, I think. Oh no, can I not go back? Oh, dang. I mean, honestly, that's
here,
well played
said
by
the
the
bucket.
developer.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
No? Can I not? Oh, this is new? Maybe? No.
Now pick up the phone,
said the bucket.
pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Sure.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
427B. The beige pages. What am I supposed to be doing? Did I break the game again? I may have broken the game again. That happened in the previous video, where like a door had been closed before I could get to it, and it wasn't like a game feature, it was just a little bug. I mean, unfortunately, it seems to be... Oh, there's the bucket. Hold on. Just have to find the control with the thing, which is so annoying.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Or maybe you're saying it to me, and that's fine.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Well, I'll try anyway. Stanley? Can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. His stupid hunk of metal.
To ignore that one.
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Yeah. Ooh, existential.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
It seems the narrator's falling for it too. Go home to work to home to home, work to home.
Oh no. I'm having feelings. For the bucket. No, 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 no. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
No, that was unnerving.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Alright, so...
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
We saw that,
but Stanley had felt the
there.
bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, I did not.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Oh, wait, what? You can't actually make that. Can you not do cold feet?
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Well, from
No, you
here,
can't do cold
it
feet.
looks like the only way forward is down, since the
I go
lift won't
here.
be coming back, but that's okay. You've got a bucket. Did you know that buckets are routinely used as cushioning devices? It's true.
Wait, is that a Minecraft
You can
reference?
fall on a bucket from literally any height and survive.
Did he learn this from Minecraft?
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Nice. I'm assuming I'd still die if I dropped down there, so I'm gonna head into the vent. Okay, loading. Oh. This is new. We vented. We are the imposter. We are suspicious. It's a lot of VHS tapes.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't
New
even know.
narrator.
I've lost track. Nothing feels real
Oh,
anymore.
there's a slight zoom in on the camera. That's ominous.
The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I
We're just
pick
getting
it
a lot
up.
of bucket lore
No
from
matter
Stanley
how
Parable
many
too.
times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. Still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket.
Okay,
This
people. Yay,
is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get me. What's that? Who's there?
Bucket lore. Nice. Glad to know that's a thing.
All of his co-workers were gone.
So,
What could it
what other
mean?
endings can we
Stanley
do
decided to go to the meeting.
bucket?
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Let's do
Stanley
just,
clutched the bucket tightly to his
I have a
chest
feeling that if I
and
do true
entered the
ending
door
with
on
the
his
bucket,
left.
it's just gonna, like, not. Ooh. Trust the That actually kind of scared me. Trust the completionist instinct. There will be a reward. Synergize your research. Many questions. There are no memo from management. Okay. Follow clues provided by employee 416. That's very ominous. Yeah. Employee 416.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now.
Yeah.
It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I'd never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed. And coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh, that is red.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. And that's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. Indeed, now he noticed the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. Now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Is it going to be this is the story of the other person?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work.
Oh, she also.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Oh, okay, sure. I think I'm going to do one more ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Finders Committee.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket alone.
So I'm thinking true.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
There's three things that I think could fully get rid of the bucket, and it's destroying it, doing the true ending.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's
just
office.
Quitting out of the game, any combination of those three. Maybe there's one in the bathroom.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley things? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Cold, there was one in there now. Oh. This normally doesn't open. Let's go up. This is new. Nice. Cool music. But the entire thing, literally people listening to music. Pretty good music. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Business strategy. No, that's a crime. No, like, I'm not joking. I'm pretty sure that's an actual crime. I wonder what happens if you
Stepping
do the up
into
and
his
down
manager's
again thing.
office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable.
Indeed.
At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
It's really... Maybe next time I'll do, like, I think, I want to call it, like, celebrity ending, where you just go up and down again.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Thinking where other there could be collectibles.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
I'm thinking maybe up there, but maybe not, because that is just an actual ending.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything
Wait, why am
would be
I being the
fine.
emotional reassurance for the bucket? Also, yeah, employee pirate. Also, employee 234 seems to be broken. Hold on. Yeah.
Was
Elevator.
the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire
I love
world.
how it like starts.
At this point, he could trust
If,
no
like, every
one
piece of dialogue is
except
completely
for the bucket.
like changed to mention the bucket, even though like it's the exact same.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and to... What? Wait. What was happening?
What?
Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Indeed. And does that just respawn me? Indeed it is. Alright, so I am going to hop off for the day. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified whenever I post new content, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.